In this video, I'm going to share with you UOB's ambitious plan to dominate trade financing in Southeast Asia. Let's get into it. Hey friends, welcome back to the channel. I'm Iggy here, and I've been covering topics such as stocks, finance, CPF, and basically everything related to growing your wealth. The Investing Iguana is featured and ranked 8th in the 2023 Influential Tigers by Tiger Brokers with over 800,000 reads. I've also covered over 500 videos and over 200,000 watch hours as of August 2024. I also occasionally focus on topics related to regional or world economy. Today, we're diving into some exciting news from United Overseas Bank, or UOB as we know it. UOB, Singapore's third largest bank, is making big moves in the trade financing sector in Southeast Asia. This is a huge deal, folks, and I'm here to break it down for you. First off, let's talk about why this matters. UOB is eyeing a massive $2 trillion trade flow in the region. That's trillion with a T. Right now, they only have about 1% of this market. But here's the kicker. They're aiming to grab 5% by 2026. That's a huge jump, and it could mean big things for UOB and potentially for investors. Now, you might be wondering, Iggy, why is UOB so keen on Southeast Asia? Well, it's all about location, location, location. With the ongoing tensions between the US and China, many companies are adopting what's called a China Plus One strategy. They're looking to diversify their supply chains, and guess where they're looking? That's right, Southeast Asia. This shift is so significant that last year, for the first time in a decade, Southeast Asian economies attracted more foreign direct investment than China. That's a big deal, and UOB is positioning itself to ride this wave. Let's talk numbers for a second. UOB's global wholesale banking division, which handles things like loans, trade services, and cash management, brought in a record $7.1 billion in 2023. That's about $5.5 billion. Not too shabby, right? But here's where it gets really interesting. Frederick Chin, the head of Group Wholesale Banking and Markets at UOB, says they're already the #1 trade bank in ASEAN. But they're not stopping there. They want to dominate the region. That's a strong word, folks. And it shows just how serious UOB is about this strategy. Now, you might be thinking, okay, Iggy, but what does this mean for me? Well, if you're an investor or thinking about becoming one, this could be something to watch. UOB's focus on trade financing in a rapidly growing region could potentially lead to increased profits and growth for the bank. But let's break it down a bit more. UOB isn't just throwing money at the problem. They've been building up their capabilities in the region for a decade. They've focused on things like cash management, financial supply chain management, and payments capabilities. This long-term strategy is now paying off, especially with the rapid digital migration and manufacturing relocation we've seen since the pandemic. UOB is also being smart about how they're approaching this. They're focusing on big regional corporate clients, but they're also looking to position themselves as a regional service bank for multinational companies. And they're not forgetting about SMEs either. They're aiming to build what they call a closed-loop business ecosystem. Basically, they want to be involved at every level of trade in the region. But here's where it gets really interesting. UOB isn't just looking at Southeast Asia as one big market. They're targeting specific sectors in different countries. In Malaysia, they're eyeing the semiconductor sector. In Indonesia, they're looking at mining and renewables. Thailand? They're interested in higher value sectors and automotive. And in Vietnam, they're focusing on electronics and textiles. This targeted approach shows that UOB has really done its homework. They're not just throwing darts at a map. They've identified key growth areas in each country and are positioning themselves to capitalize on these trends. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Iggy, isn't this risky? What about competition from other banks? And you're right to ask these questions. There are always risks in banking and finance. Other banks aren't going to just sit back and let UOB take over. But here's the thing. UOB has a few advantages. First, they've been in the region for a long time. They understand the local markets and have established relationships. Second, they're taking a very focused approach. They're not trying to be everything to everyone. Instead, they're concentrating on areas where they think they can really excel. And let's not forget the bigger picture. Southeast Asia is a region with a young, growing population, increasing urbanization, and rising middle class. These factors all point to potential long-term growth in trade and economic activity. By positioning itself as a leader in trade financing now, UOB could be setting itself up for success for years to come. Of course, as always, I need to remind you that investing involves risks. While UOB's strategy looks promising, there's no guarantee of success. Always do your own research and consider your personal financial situation before making any investment decisions. So, what's the takeaway here? UOB is making a big play in Southeast Asian trade financing. They're aiming to increase their market share significantly in the next few years. This strategy is based on long-term trends in the region and global trade patterns. For investors, this could be an interesting development to watch. Remember, in the world of investing, information is power. By understanding moves like this from major players like UOB, you can make more informed decisions about your own investments. If you guys enjoyed this video, then you're going to love this video where you'll learn about the top 5 Singapore bank stocks to watch in 2024. I dive deep into the financials, strategies, and potential growth of these banking giants. It's a perfect complement to today's discussion on UOB's trade financing strategy. Click the link in the description or the end screen to check it out. Until next time, this is Iggy the Investing Iguana signing off.